What's up, YouTube? The original blue collar crypto coming at you. I'm showing you guys what I believe is the most important chart in all of cryptocurrency. What you're looking at is a graph of the total market capitalization of the space. This isn't just the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple. This is the market cap of all the cryptocurrencies put together. And you can see the uptrend at the end of 2013, the subsequent bear market, the accumulation, then the ramp up, and so on and so forth. And as we know, in the last 2 weeks, because we're on the weekly chart here, we have seen an utter effing nosedive. Let's take it to the daily to get a little more detail on this. And yeah, absolute kaput, schmuck, yuck, no. Bottom has fallen out of this market for reasons that are beyond the scope of this video. I could rant for the next 3 hours about what's going on right now, but y'all don't want to hear all that. Let's get into the little bit of experiment that I just had to do. One of the most dangerous things in day trading, and especially cryptocurrency, is when you try to catch a falling knife. Now, for those unfamiliar, it's basically when you notice the market tanking, and let's say it's like here, right? And you buy in thinking, wow, man, we fell a lot. We're going to get a bit of a recovery, but you underestimate how much momentum the downtrend actually has. And so you buy in maybe down here, you think you're real smart, right? Nope. But the urge to try to catch the falling knife increases the further down it goes. Because let's be honest, you can zoom out and look at the entirety of this chart and say to yourself, because we're on the logarithmic, remember, there is no place in the history, bear market or bull market, when we've gone down that steep, that rapidly, without some type of momentary recovery. Never. So maybe I'm just an effing moron, but when I see this, I usually see some kind of recovery. Now, it may not come very far. We might be in a severe, longer-term bear trend. You see the guys who do their speculations, right? They take a raise, something like this, and they get in here, something like that. And then they get, they try to graph like the downtrend like this, right? You see what I mean? This could be the trend we're inside, something severe like this. It could be even more severe. It could have done a downturn. But the point is, you still get the dead cat. And so now here comes the real nail biter. As you watch the market go down and that urge to grab the falling knife increases, and you think there will be a bottom, however temporary, and there will be a dead cat bounce, and some mother F is going to buy in at the absolute bottom and is going to just make a quick 20% in a day, no trouble. Buy in, boom, catch the bottom of like a indicator on the longer term line and jump out and go from, here to there. Now, in Bitcoin, I think we just saw that happen. And we're seeing it happen, and how far it will recover remains to be seen. But let's take it to Bitcoin on the 1 hour. This is the on just the average across all exchanges here. And exactly. You see the phenomenon. People thought, okay, try to catch the falling knife, never got enough momentum, slammed down, same sort of phenomenon with some volatility, but really didn't get much going. And then here, and now you're seeing a bit of a ramp up. You have a little bit of a pattern of the lowest low, then a higher high, and a higher low, followed by a higher high. And this is a good, very nice indication on the short term. If you're looking at this from the hourly, trying to, think about the next week or so, it is incredibly reasonable to say, I don't say reasonable, it's just, not unreasonable, I suppose, to say that the price of Bitcoin might be doing something like this. See what I'm saying? Be reasonable, people, be reasonable. It can't just go to zero instantly. There will be, the momentum doesn't sap out of it that quick. You always, on some timetable, however short, will see some sort of dead cat. And you know what, guys? This could be the end of it. This could be all the dead cat bounce you get. And then this market's going to tank. Like $4,000 might be this critical just resistance. We're going to tank all the way down to 3K and further down. And the smart money got in at 3,500 last night and is selling today. entirely possible. But there you go. That's the phenomenon of the dead cat. But last night, I couldn't hold back any longer. I used my account with Gemini. I just got on there about a month ago. Don't want to get into the details, but I've had some drama with the Coinbase exchange. If you want to know, you can send me a message. But so far, Gemini seems to be working well, and I finally bit the bullet, and I said, I gotta buy some Zcash at $64. And this was last night, and I was watching the price, and here, I'll take you to the 1 hour chart, right? And I remember, I think we were like somewhere in this area, like right in here, you know? And I said, golly gee, you know, it's risky. I'm trying to catch a falling knife, but I looked at this entire downtrend. And then I did the like the longer term sort of look at it, where I go to the 1 day chart and I go, has any period ever of this steep of a fall never been followed by any sort of dead cat? And I couldn't find it. I mean, even here, I guess, could be the only exception. From here down to here, we're still on the log chart, by the way, and then got a little bit and went down. But even so, man, it came back. So I mean, visually speaking, it seems more likely that we're going to have a little bit of a dead cat. I still think we're in a bear market, and you should not take your eyes off of this for a second. And stop limits are incredibly important. You know, when I bought in at 64, I said I need a stop limit at, what do you call it, like 61. If the price goes below 61, I want to get out because it's heading down. So I mean, you got to protect yourself in this market. But ultimately, I'm pretty happy with the buy. I am watching the market close. You know, we've made about almost 10%, about 9% when you factor in the fees. And I'm really keeping a close eye on this last candlestick here. And let's take it into the 15 minutes, get as narrow as we can, because my main concern is that we have this very tall peak here on the 15 minute, and we've come down, and our low seems to be at least equal level with this little momentary leveling, and we haven't broken above. So I mean, on the 15 minute, are we going to take a little journey back below 70? And will that then meet up with some like dead cat energy on like the, say, 4 hour chart? Or are we just going to head back down to crypto hell because it's crypto hell and that's how it's going to go? But anyway, right now, what do they say? I'm in the black, right? I hate that expression because, you know, I want to say in the green. I mean, green means money. The candles are green. Why do you say in the black? Like, I'm sure somebody knows all the technical reasons why I'm saying in the black, but let's be honest. It feels more natural to say in the green. But anyway, in profit, whatever. So my hunch in this market right now is with regard to Zcash, you know, when the shit started hitting the fan, we were at about $134, and actually the market on the daily chart was looking kind of promising. We saw a low here, a bit of a rise, like, and what some people thought might be a double bottom, and then some nice indication that we had some bullish momentum. But of course, when the bottom falls out, everything goes down, and so subsequently kaput, right? But you know, the point is this: if the market conditions with regard to Zcash and its perception in the cryptocurrency space hasn't changed since this bear market began. This bear market and the reasons for it is much greater than any particular project. And in the space of cryptocurrency, I think Zcash is in a really good position. I say this because I've done some research into it, and it seems on a technology level to be the best offering. I would suggest watching a YouTube documentary. I'll try to find it here. Zcash documentary. Hopefully we can find it. Hold on, we're gonna have to narrow our search a little bit. Oh, shoot. And anyway, you guys can do your own research on this. I apologize, but the point is, it's a 20-minute lecture on Zcash and the history of encryption, and really taught me a lot. I mean, obviously, you know, don't believe everything you see. Do your research and due diligence and this and that. But he made a convincing case for Zcash and ultimately cryptocurrency as a whole. So in this crazy volatile market where you might be able to make a quick 15%, I got me a little bit of Zcash. And by little, I mean like $50 worth. We are not doing anything serious in this market. We're kind of just playing around for our own amusement here. But we're going to see what happens. I think that Zcash might have enough momentum to carry us maybe back up to say $80. If I see the price over 80, I'll probably just get out at that point and say thank you for the $7 or $8 I'll make in total. There are several ways you can play this. Probably the best way is to sort of stack your sells, because you cannot time the market. You may have some inclination that it's going to head in this direction, but you don't know if it's going to get to here, to here, or to here. And you're a moron for trying to guess, because if you miss all the opportunity. So beforehand, you basically have some decided points where you're going to sell and profit. And so let's say you buy in at 64, you sell maybe 20% of your position at 70, another 20% at say 72, and then maybe you plan to hold half of it until it gets over 80, however you want to do it. But then let's say, okay, this price only goes to say 70, and then it comes down to 63, you'll still make some profit and you'll be able to get out of the market. So all types of different little strategies, but ultimately the diversification on all levels. I mean, diversification in your portfolio and diversification with regard to your buys and sells across the market. You don't want to try to pick your spots. I mean, ultimately, this is a game where if you're going to prove you have any success, you got to play a lot, because this is, even if you have the best system of indicators and whatever for making the best educated guesses, you're going to be wrong, and you're going to be wrong a lot of the time, a very statistically relevant amount of time. So for the odds to play out in your favor, you have to play a lot. And I'm not Mr. Super college educated here. I don't know what kind of game theory that is, or algorithm, this, that, or the other, but you got to keep it moving if your method's going to work. But ultimately, who knows? Nobody's really cracked the market code, right? All of these indicators, look at all of them, right? Bollinger Bands, chop zones, counters, compact curve, directional movement. And there are people out there who know absolutely exactly what all of these things are. And it's fascinating stuff. But you know what? If all of it really mattered all that much, why isn't there some stock trading multi-billionaire? Or is his name Warren Buffett? You know what I'm saying? If this stuff actually worked, why haven't more people cracked the code? Why isn't a small group of people controlling all the money? Wait, Illuminati, wait, there is, ladies and gentlemen, there is a small group of people who actually know how to time the market and manipulate the market, and have basically collected all the wealth and are hoarding it for themselves, okay? I think it's a game, right? This is not the right website to find the Dow Jones Industrial Average, so we have to go to this one. But that's the thing, is you get, these people are so effing bloody rich. The Jeff Bezoses, the Mark Zuckerbergs, and yeah, it's not like real money. They just own the shares, and if they tried to move them, you're going to collapse the price. But man, oh man, there's something. That Elliott wave theory, right? When a lot of people dismiss something as crazy, that's when you need to look into it. And maybe this Ralph Nelson Elliott was one of those super geniuses who smoked some DMT and got visited by some supernatural aliens who said everything occurs in this Fibonacci-ass pattern. And if you just understand it, you'll be able to work the market to your favor and become the most powerful individual on earth. Now, if that's not a manic ambition, I don't know what is. But I'm telling you guys, I think there are some people out there that control so much money that they can basically make the market do stuff. When you read about what George Soros and his firm and another financial firm did to Thailand by shorting the currency, that brutalized the market. And the fact is, you could say markets are brutal and it's an amoral activity and all that rationalization. But if you're sitting there and you damn well know your actions are going to cause a huge amount of harm to a lot of innocent people who didn't do a goddamn thing wrong, Why don't you check yourself, man? If you're sitting on 10, 20, 30 billion dollars of wealth, why in God's name you got to make some play in the market that's going to bust the currency of an entire country just to get yourself 30% more wealthy? You know, I am not a bloody fucking socialist. I'm a capitalist through and through, but there's got to be a limit to this greed. There's got to be some degree of human compassion that comes in and says, this is wrong, man. This is wrong. We should not pump up the price of something and fool a lot of desperate people to buy in at the worst possible time and then short the market back on them when their greed gets the better of them and they decide to take out loans so they can margin trade. That's the shit George Soros does. He shorts the market. He basically creates false volume with false buy and sell orders, manipulates it by giving everyone the impression, giving all of the false technical indicators, everyone starts buying in, and then he starts loaning out his shares and saying, sure, you can take this much of my money if you agree to pay it off on with 10% interest, but if the market goes up, you can leverage my capital. And the margin traders are like, sure, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it. This is a great way to get rich. I can leverage $10,000 with $1,000. Oh shit, the market's going down. Crap, I own these worthless shares and I got to pay back my loan with interest. And George Soros is sitting there laughing because he's put the false volume into the market. He's the one who fooled everyone. That's some bullshit. It's that kind of nonsense that makes me lose faith in humanity. Because I get it. You want to be a wolf of Wall Street, and you want to be a shark. And I guess when you sit behind these charts and all you see are these little up and down arrows and indicators, you forget that these are real people. These prices represent real people's real decisions with their money. And shit, you know, maybe the Dow Jones, you think about people on Wall Street, they have so much money it doesn't matter. But in these crypto markets, this was designed to make it easy for blue-collar folk to get involved. And there were a lot of royally pissed off blue-collar people who didn't know jack about day trading and got into this and got fucked by the manipulators. And people following the same template of what George Soros did. It's the same thing in Bitcoin right now. I bet you George Soros himself probably owns a bucket load of Bitcoin because he heard about it way back when, because he's in the loop, and said, hey, speculation, and has been shorting it with that big old grin on his face. And Soros isn't the only one, but he's just the convenient villain we all recognize. But guys, ultimately, if you're going to play in the crypto markets, you cannot invest more than you can afford to lose. Don't. That's the most foolish thing that anyone did. And a lot of people during this massive bull ride who took that risk, who mortgaged their house, who took out loans and bought Bitcoin when it was $1,200, when it was $2,000, back when it was $700. Oh yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. Sometimes you can do something really reckless and get away with it and get ahead. Sometimes you can cheat and you can win. But that's cheating though. It'll catch up to you. And the people who try to catch the falling knife right now, they might gut themselves. But we'll see. This is a wild ride.